The Federal Environment Minister, Susan Lee, has officially listed the koala as endangered. Listing an animal as endangered it's a really serious conservation status. It means that that particular animal, or in some cases it might be a habitat, is at risk of going extinct in the short term. So koalas were previously classified as vulnerable under our national environment laws. That means a medium-term risk of extinction. They've been listed as vulnerable since 2012. So the decision on Friday to list them as endangered is recognition that they've declined further in the last decade. 2 weeks ago, the Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, made an announcement while cuddling a koala, and that announcement was $50 million in funding for koala protection. $50 million is a sizable investment, particularly for a single species, but conservationists have noted that it won't achieve a lot unless the core causes of the decline in koala populations is addressed. Koalas are under multiple ongoing pressures from habitat destruction, climate change, and disease. Habitat destruction is a huge issue because koalas need trees. It's that simple. And if we continue to knock them down, then declines in the population, the pressures on the population from all of those other things as well are going to continue. And we clear koala habitat all the time. The Australian Conservation Foundation released research this week where they analysed the developments that had been approved by the federal government in the last 10 years in which the koala was listed as a vulnerable species. And they found that successive governments had approved a total of 25,000 hectares of clearing. And that's just the clearing that was assessed. There's clearing that's not assessed, that it just happens and we don't actually count it. And this is clearing for housing developments, for different types of mining. There's clearing that occurs for agriculture, clearing that occurs for major infrastructure like roads. And all of these things put pressure on this much loved species, as well as so many other Australian plants and animals. It's that death by 1,000 cuts thing, where every little decision you made has brought us to where we are today. We need to protect its habitat, and there's mechanisms that can be used. It's a choice, when a development is approved, there's a choice that's made to approve that, and it's a choice that's made at the expense of the koala and its habitat. So one of the things that conservationists have called for is things like, well, do we start ring fencing koala habitat? Do we start saying that there are certain areas now that are no-go zones? These are the sorts of things when you've got a species that's getting closer and closer to extinction, it's endangered, critically endangered, extinct, that's all that's left. These are the sorts of questions that we need to be asking.